Okay, good. Today I'm going to explain very short video, and that is about basic command uh, in Linux and in Microsoft Windows, and I will explain them as we proceed. When you're working with data, for example, genomic data, which requires some manipulations, a lot of manipulation, you may need to apply commands rather than just accessing this data in graphical user interface. As the job gets more complex, you'll find that it is more efficient to access or to retrieve your data through the commands. And for example, when you right click on the Mac OS on the desktop, you find that there is some few things that you can do. If I do the same on the Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, Microsoft, I keep forgetting this, Windows computers, you find that you can create so many files. For example, you can create Word document, you can create Excel document. But with Mac, while you can do the same, but by default, you have very few that you can do. Instead, you can click on the go, and you access the application that you need, and maybe you can work with it from here. But that is not a good way to do it. Mac has given you so many commands that you can enjoy using them. Let's check, for example, by opening our terminal here. The first command that you're going to explore is called clear. Clear is a command that clears the terminal. It does away with what you can see there and gives you a clear working space. For example, that is what it does. It doesn't really delete what was there, but it pushes it up so that you can have a working space that is very clear for you. If you scroll down, you find that what was there, it's still there, but it has been pushed up. Another command called print the working directory, and this shows the folder that we are at the moment. If I enter, you see that I'm at a folder called Apple. Inside this folder or directory, there are some other files or some other folders inside. Let's check what is inside by doing a command that is called ls list the files in the current directory. And when we list the file, you see that the folder that we are located at the moment, it contains our desktop, contains the documents. First, you see is a folder for a software, bioinformatics software. You have a library, movies, everything that you have Git. At some point, we'll go through the Git and we'll enjoy how the Git operates. A Git is not really a programming language, but it is a platform that helps you to do a version control of the software that you will be designing. By doing so, what it means, the Git, you can create an account in the Git and you link all your folders for the software that you are creating. You link it with the GitHub such that whatever you create on your computer is uploaded online on the Git account. And this is important because sometimes you don't really have to code everything for a software that maybe you have given a job to do, but a certain company to design a tool that does application 1, A, B, and C. And you've realized that it is also important to include as an application D inside that software. You can code that D and upload it on the GitHub, and then when it is done, you can retrieve it and merge it with the existing software, and we'll come to that later. So if you want to check what is inside the desktop, we can use another command called cd. CD means the changing directory to, for example, the desktop. We can change our directory to desktop, or we can move, meaning it literally means to move to a certain folder, and we can change directory to desktop, for example, and see what is in the desktop. By default, this is my desktop, and you can see there is a full software called Atom. There is a backup file, maybe for something. There is a call span, DNADB, SecBio. And these two are folders. This is a file, and this is a software. So let's see what is inside that. We are now inside the desktop, and we can list what is inside the desktop. And good, exactly, you can see exactly the same thing that you can see on the desktop is what has been printed here, with additional some stuff. These are backup files which are stored in the cache memory, so don't worry about that. If you want to create a directory for yourself, you can create a folder here called testing folder. For example, I use a command called make directory. I can say tests f. What is my directory that I want to create? I want to create a folder called test f. You realize you can do the same by right-clicking on the desktop and creating a folder, but it's more enjoyable and easier to create it within the command. For example, test f will just create a folder exactly called test f, which has nothing inside. If I open this, I can see there is nothing inside. So, but I can create I can change to that directory called testf, and I see there is nothing inside. So if I want to create something inside, for example, I can go to the graphical user interface. I open that folder, it is here, and maybe I create something inside. For example, I have, for example, done. That is the direct way of creating using the graphical user, but you can do the same. You can create a directory as well. Here you can create a directory and it calls test2 inside. And when you open this, you find that we have two folders. One I have and test2, for example. What else can you do with this? You can go back to the previous directory by changing directory backwards by using the two dots, and when I press enter, you see I'm back to the desktop. Yeah. So for example, if I want to execute a software using the terminal, I can, for example, change my directory back, and I want to access the first QC folder, and which contains some files, and after accessing it, I can I can change directory to the first QC, and then when inside there, I can execute it like that. There is a software that's useful by informatics guys to check the quality of sequences that have been given by a machine, created by bioinformatics.My. Is highly used. You can also do something that is interesting here. You can create when I right click here, you realize that I can't create a .txt file. unless I access that software through the Go. I'll open this and come here and create, look where it is, and create a file. That's a long way of doing it, but Mac has a very easy way of doing that. Let's say I go back to the desktop, for example, like that, and I want to create a folder there, and inside that folder I want to create my website files inside. So I can make a directory and called web folder, for example, and inside I can change directory to the web folder and then create a website file. I can say my web.html. Sorry. There comes another command called touch, and touch is used to create files. So I can create web.html, and when I list, I'll be able to see web.html, and I want to execute it. I can execute it like that. Thank you for watching, guys. Let's meet again for more advanced applications.